I'm going to be super transparent. The podcast pregame was a little too, what do the kids say these days? Lit? I don't know.
Fun.
Spread good, baby.
What's up, guys, and welcome to episode 5 of the Spread Good podcast. I'm going to be super transparent. The podcast pregame was a little too, what do the kids say these days? Lit? I don't know.
Fun.
I like that.
Fun lit. Anyways, I'm here once again with my good friend and Spread Good squad member, Nick. What up, Nick?
Hello. I'm
But-
very drunk. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you for stating the obvious. This is going to be a great episode. And we also are here with, honestly, all jokes aside, one of our founding Spread Good squad members, Saul Cervantes. What's up, Saul?
Not much, man. Thank you for having me here.
Of course, man. So, Saul, you guys have probably listened to episode 2 by now. If you don't, check it out. Like, subscribe, follow, hit the bell button,
Hit the
smash the
bell.
bell button,
Smash
do
the
all
bell.
those things. We really appreciate you guys. We're only a few episodes deep. Well, I guess 5 now, so that's more than a few.
Yeah.
But anyways, we're getting there, and it's been a fun ride. I really appreciate all the support. You guys are rocking the merch, smashing the bell button, doing all the things. But anyways, if you have listened to episode 2, you met the homie Walter, who's here right now, but he's behind the camera. Saul was actually the first person I came to with the idea of the Spread Good Squad. And he too is like Walter, a producer mind, a director mind, a camera mind. And he's here in front of the camera with us today.
It appears.
It appears. So, Saul, don't take a long time because, but to tell us.
Be concise.
Shut the fuck up. Please
but-
tell us.
Don't talk too much.
We're
but
hoping some people want to know where you're from. What's your name? I already said it. How do you spread good? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Saul, shit, yeah, I was born and raised in LA, man. We're unicorns, right? You don't meet a lot of people in this industry or in the entertainment, whatever you want to call it, industry that are from LA. Reason why I spread good, long story short, I grew up in a not so good neighborhood. Fortunately, I turned out pretty good because a lot of people spread good and helped me out. And yeah, here I am now, which is something to say, with my background. But yeah, I want to kind of repay the favor and then help other people. And yeah, I'm here.
No, we appreciate it, man. So Saul and Walter and I met all on the same TV show. And it was at the time that I started the nonprofit. I just moved to LA. And I don't know if you know this, Saul, but at the time we had sponsored 2 kids. You know our first kid, Sam, quite well. And the second kid, Emily, was the first kid that passed away. And for me, that hit me really hard. I signed up for all the fun stuff, the surprises, the music, the fun. I did not expect to be in this little girl's hospital room the last 24 hours she was alive. So when that happened, it hit me really, really hard. And I kind of said, fuck this nonprofit stuff. And I moved to LA, trying to get into some acting, some modeling, and again, working on this TV show with Walter and Saul. And it might have been 6 months later. We still had like our 501c3 because that's when we had first got it. And 3 kids at the time, Alex as well. But anyways, we had sponsored 3 kids, and we're just kind of like idling in the nonprofit world. And I get this text about this kid who lives in my hometown of Rockland, Taylor, who has cancer, and she has this dream. And it's like, okay, let's just run a campaign and sell some hats. And at the time, I was working at a TV show on the back lot of Universal. It's kind of cool, So I was like, I'm going to bring this flyer, and hopefully people on set buy these hats, and we can raise some money for this kid. And that's kind of how me and Saul met, is I bring this flyer. And I don't know if I've ever told you this. I'm passing flyers out, and I'll never forget. People are taking the flyers on set. We had this craft service table, running the craft services, handing out my flyers. And so grabs a flyer. He's like, this is awesome. He goes into the shed, or the trailer, and he hangs out. And a few minutes later, he goes and puts the flyer back. I was like, fuck this guy. I was like, dude,
You
who's
care
this
about the
guy?
flyer?
You keep the
Man.
flyer. He put the flyer back. I was like, fuck this guy. He was the first sale. He bought a $30 hat for this kid, and I'd never talked to Saul in my life. And that was a long story, but I don't know if you ever knew that was my first interaction with you, whether you knew it or not.
No, and then I remember that because I mean that's kind of like the first time that I heard about you. And before that, I used to work for another nonprofit, and I know how much flyers cost. You know, they're expensive as hell.
Had a feeling. I seriously had a feeling this was
that's what I'm saying. Like I saw the flyer. It was a beautiful flyer, but it cost money. So I remember getting the
38
flyer.
cents.
I go do my thing, you know, whatever. I'm doing my fucking job. I think there was an RQ code or the website. I buy it, and what am I gonna do with the flyer, right? Throw it away? Nah, man. I'm gonna put it back, and you know, someone else is gonna
He's gonna spread
benefit
some
from
good.
it.
Yeah.
So that's what I did, but I didn't know you thought I was a piece of shit.
No, dude, because I really thought he was this guy. It's like,
He's like,
this
I don't
guy's
give a fuck
charity.
about
This ain't Hollywood. Like, what is this guy? No, it's so funny because at the time I didn't have all the notifications on my email. I was just hustling, bro. I was literally just like poor as shit trying to sell these $30 hats for this kid. And Saul was the only one on set that bought one, like, you know? And it was like
Nice.
kind of cool that it was just the perspective of, I thought this Hollywood guy who I already called out on once before because I was late to work and I just didn't want to come in. But anyways, that's a different story. But anyways, I really didn't know Saul. Kind of intimidating guy when you didn't know him, you know?
I have a resting bitch face.
Yeah,
it's
no,
facial
for
hair.
real. Yeah.
Especially with my sunglasses.
Yeah. Like Nick's eyebrows, you know? Like,
Yeah, look at thick ass eyebrows.
But I'm a teddy bear. Get a few beers in me, and I'm sure I'm gonna cry by the end of this fucking
I
episode.
hope so.
100%, man. And no, ever since I met Saul, he's been one of the most genuine, authentic, spread good people I've ever met. So when I started the Spread Good Squad, we were sponsoring a kid in Indiana. And I think that's a whole other story. I mean, we might get into it later in the episode, but yeah, Saul was all in on it. And we decided like these stories need to be heard by more people, because if we can keep doing what we're doing, we can inspire other people to spread good all over the world. And shit, man, 6-7 years later, here we are. It's kind of crazy.
Here we are, man. A lot of accomplishments.
Yeah. So you talk about your neighborhood,
Yeah.
you know, so is that your inspiration for spreading good? Like, where does it come from? Is it your family? Is it your upbringing? Like, what's the core of it?
It's a little bit of both, man. You know.
Where's your neighborhood?
Who? Huh?
Where's your neighborhood?
My neighborhood. Well, I was born in East LA. I lived there until I was about 7, 8 years old. Then I went to Pico Rivera, which I remember. I don't know. I remember hearing at one point that it was like right there with like Compton back in the day, like in the 90s and shit. But I don't know how true that is. But it was pretty bad. I just remember when we moved there. And 2 weeks later, my parents heard that like police got killed, like right across the street and shit.
You were in the hood.
Oh, dude, I had friends that would not go to my neighborhood because, you know, I lived in a neighborhood where you couldn't go through certain streets at night. So
I've heard a story where he tried to pick you up in your neighborhood and someone else have it.
Yeah.
We don't have to talk about that.
no, but yeah, no, it's I mean, till the yeah. So, anyways, growing up in those neighborhoods, I saw a level of community, right? Unfortunately, these communities get a lot of bad reps, but deep down, the majority of it, man, it's just there's a lot of love and heart, right? And I saw that growing up, and I just wanted to be part of that. Because it's weird, man. You're in this community, and it's just there's love, there's respect, everyone's there for each other. But then once you step out of that community, you start seeing how people see you because you're from there, right? It's kind of like this weird bubble. That's how it was when I grew up and lived for a little while in East LA. Even though I was born here, I really feel like I didn't know English until I was like 7 years old. Because in East LA, I mean, back in the 90s, it was mainly Spanish. And I'm sure at school I had to learn some English, but I feel like I didn't really speak or learn English until I moved to Pico Rivera. So that was kind of a trip. But anyways, yeah, I grew up, and then growing up with certain people have certain judgments about me because of where I was from, and I got to a level where I was able to kind of give back to the community, and that's when I started working for a nonprofit where I was a teaching artist for I don't know, I know they have another terminology nowadays, but back then it was at-risk youth. It was an after-school program where we kind of taught them film, and it was a great program, but it was also emotionally draining, because you have these kids for, I don't know, an hour and a half, you see, oh man, these young minds, they're so creative, poetry, just writing, acting, man, there's just so much passion in these minds, in these souls, and you have them for an hour and a half, you try and nurture that, but then they go back home where they're basically influenced by either the family or friends. And I still remember, that's one of the hardest times of my young life. I remember, I would go back to the nonprofit, to the teaching job, and all of a sudden I'll try and find, where so-and-so, and the principal or someone will tell me like, oh, well, they got locked up or they joined, a gang or something. And then it's tough. It was really, it took a while for me not to take it personally because there's nothing you can do. But it just sucks, man, because you see them. There's so much potential in these young kids. And then you hear, whatever the politics is happening nowadays, but you hear how arts are being cut in school and this and that. And sometimes, hey, I'll say right now, man, I'm a fucking idiot, like fucking math, science, I don't know any of that shit, but I love art. And there's a lot of kids that are like that, So some kids, sure, they're as far as tests, they're not good test takers, but shit, man, you tell them to write a poem, you tell them to write a book, tell them to act their heart out, shit, man, they'll do an incredible job. But they don't have an outlet for that. So where do they find themselves? On the fucking streets.
Mm-hmm. And I remember that when we first started talking, you told me about the nonprofit you worked for. Mm-hmm. And I'll never forget when he said that. He's like, I'll spend 90 minutes with these kids a week, enrich them, just encourage them, motivate them. They motivate me. We share our love for art. But at the end of the day, they go back to the streets. Yeah. They go back to the household that pushes the drugs in the neighborhood. They go back to all of these aggressions that their ancestors grew up with. And at the end of the day, Saul's doing his part, but 90 minutes out of a week, it's tough. Especially as an adolescent. It's not like they're legal 18-year-old plus adults that can, vouch for themselves or make moves for themselves. They're stuck in these homes. So that was really the first conversation I think we had. After you bought the hat, I obviously thanked you because I thought he was an asshole. And then
I am.
He still is, but a good asshole, a spread good asshole. But
spread good asshole.
Spread good asshole. Hey,
it's gonna be on
we're going to make a shirt. Yes, being nice to you, man. Scratch that in red. Spread good asshole. Be a spread good asshole. Hey, but anyways, one story that I've actually told at events, I'd like to tell real quick. I know I've talked a lot, so I'm going to try to cut this one short. But
we're going to take a shot real quick.
Oh, we're going to take a shot?
No. I get it. All right, I guess I'm down for a little shotty shot. What are we sipping, guys? Not sponsored? Okay.
Not sponsored.
Take shots.
Talk shit.
Spread good.
Let's do it, boys.
Yeah.
I need a fucking beer chaser for that.
Right. But really how the Spread Good Squad started, it was in a small town in Indiana. But 2 days before that, I was, did anybody just hear a gunshot?
It was firework, gunshot. This guy
Disneyland,
clearly did not grow up on the streets.
Come on. Can I get a napkin real quick?
Fucking gunshot, this motherfucker.
There's a napkin.
He wasn't from the streets. He ain't from the streets.
So, after talking with Saul, we got to know each other. And the defining moment of when the Spread Good Squad started, I think it actually started in a little town in Indiana. Mm-hmm. But let's take him back a few days before that. I was fortunate enough to be featured on the show we were working on. At the time, I was working with Walter doing cue cards. I was also working as a PA, just helping with assistant work all over set. And the coordinator found out about this nonprofit I was running, and I was like, let's put you on the show. They pitched me to the EP. Next, I'm on this TV show. And it was pretty cool being on this show, in front of all these people all over the country. And at the time, they were going to surprise me with $1,000 check. But the host had asked me, how much does it cost to sponsor a kid? And I'll be honest, the charity was so new, I didn't even know. So I just said $2,500. And he's like, well, it's your lucky day. You're getting $2,500. All the producers are losing their shit because they only had a budget of $1,000. But because he said it on live TV, they had to give me $2,500. That'll make sense later. Fast forward 4 or 5 hours later, we're partying, drinking, having fun. The episode airs. And I start getting calls from all over the country. People are becoming donors, which is awesome. People are like telling me their stories, yada, yada, yada. We get this call from Columbus, Indiana saying, hey, there's this 4-year-old terminal cancer patient. Can you come here and make his dream come true? And at the time, guys, I mean, my annual budget's like $3,000. Like, I have no money, you know? And I don't know what to tell this lady. I tell her, like, hey, I'm so sorry. We just help kids in Sacramento at the time. But I'd love to send them some Legos. I was just trying to think of something I could do. And I'll never forget, I go in the break room. What was it called? PA Nation?
PA Nation.
PA Nation. And we go in there, and I'm just sitting there. And again, I don't know Saul other than this guy who I thought was an asshole who bought a hat for my charity. So he's good in my book. But at the same time, I still don't know him, right? And we're sitting there, and I don't know if Saul was a therapist or what, but he just sees that I'm kind of like down and out, and he asked me, what's wrong? And I was like, man, I just got this call from this lady in Columbus, Indiana. And she says this kid's terminal and she wants me to fly out there and make his dream come true, but I don't have any money and I can't do that. And he's like, didn't the show just give you $2,500? I was like, I mean, the check hasn't cashed, but yeah, I guess they did. He's like, why don't you use that and go out there and make a dream come true for him? I was like, maybe you're right. Hey, you're a cameraman, right? Do you want to come out there and film it? I don't know why I invited the stranger with me to fly across the country. And I also don't know why he said yes, but he did. He said, yeah, let's go. We took that $2,500 and we took that kid and we threw a rock concert in Columbus, Indiana, and we raised $10,000 in this concert. And it's all because I walked into this break room and this guy that I barely even knew was like, let's go spread some good. And that's really how the whole Spread Good Squad started. It's kind of crazy. What is that, 5 years ago, 6 years ago?
Yeah, I mean, it seems longer, man.
I know, right?
It seems longer.
We've been
but,
grinding.
I mean, you mentioned how you didn't know me, and I do that on purpose, man. I mean, I've been in this industry for a long time, man. A long time. You can see my fucking white hairs and shit. But I've made it a point to kind of put a mask on, man, because kind of like what Walter mentioned in the previous episode. Even though he, for him it was for dating, but just in Hollywood in general, man, you meet people and they just want to figure out who are you, right? What do you do? How can you?
What can you do for me?
What can you do for me? So a long time ago, I learned to just shut up, do my work, and just kind of keep my distance, right? Because you never know when one of these guys is just waiting to kind of use you. So, but when when I saw your cause, and you were putting the flyers. That's when I knew you were legit, and then you were on the show. I mean, here's the thing with working with at-risk youth. They tell you how it is, right? Which I've fucking loved. In Hollywood, and you can give me your own opinion. You meet a lot of fake people, right? Like, oh my God, how are you? This, and they don't give a shit about you, man. They just want to know, hey, I haven't seen you in 2 years. Like, are you a producer yet? Like, what can you do for me? At-risk youth, the kids, man, they don't give a shit, man. If they don't like you, they'll fucking tell you. They'll fucking fight with you, man.
That.
Like, no, and I love it too, man. Like, hey,
wow.
man, there's been times where I would tell them, like, dude, I'm not here to be your fucking friend. Like, we're just here to just have fun and just chill, man. But anyways, I learned to kind of keep that distance. And just kind of test the waters, right? And it didn't take long, honestly, to kind of test the waters with you, because from the get-go, I kind of saw that, man, not only were you a hustler, but man, you have good in your heart. From the beginning, as a PA, I saw that you were a hard worker, and then you brought the flyers, and I was like, oh, shit, okay, so this guy, doesn't even really want to be in the industry. He has a nonprofit, but he's here. That was kind of like weird, and then you were in the show, so yeah, I honestly was able to see that you have a good heart, and
thanks, man.
And I'm all about that, man. How I mentioned, just growing up where I grew up. Every time I meet someone that just wants to help other people, man, I'm all for that. And then that's why I said the stuff that I said about just going out there and fuck it.
Yeah. Bucket and spread good.
Yeah, man.
No, I really appreciate you. So first of all, thank you for all the kind words. But it's not a scripted podcast. And I love when moments like this happen, because it just shows why we're all part of this together. Is we travel over the world. And I don't know about you guys, but when I stand from LA, You ever get that? Oh
yeah.
my gosh. Right? Like all the time. And it's like, I get it because I've seen it. We've talked about it. Authenticity, fake people in Hollywood. But like, I really feel like you get what you put out there. If I wanted to wear a fake chain and pull up to the clubs, you're going to attract that. But I went and I was broke as shit and I worked as an assistant on a TV show, but I talked about my passion. And it's so cool to hear that Saul had his guard up. He's been in Hollywood his whole life and that we were still able to connect.
Yeah.
Because we get what we put out.
Exactly.
I feel like that's the way me and Nick met. That's the way we all met, right? Yeah. And we've created this culture and this community and the Spread Good Squad of people that we fuck around, we party, we have a good time, but we spread good. Yeah. And we're honest people and we're authentic and we're honest with each other and we're honest with ourselves. I think that's the biggest part of this whole thing.
So what crazy shit did you do in Indiana?
Well,
fuck you, Nick.
Yeah.
Not Nick. I'm sorry. Fuck you, Cage.
So I actually was with Cage this weekend. Shout out Cage, my sister's fiance. At the time, he was a board member for the nonprofit. We go out, we raise this 10K, we throw this concert, we make this kid's dream come true. It was awesome. And then we're at a brewery, right?
Yeah.
You know, we're not binge drinkers, but we drink a lot. And it was beer 15, I think. We were up there.
You know, a soft 15.
Soft 15 on Sunday, on a Sunday afternoon. And I'll never forget the waitress. She comes up and says, what are you guys doing in town? You know, and we told her, we're here with a nonprofit. We're helping this terminal cancer patient. We just raised 10K. We're just celebrating a little bit. She's like, oh my gosh, you're here for such a good cause. That's amazing. What are you guys doing tonight? And we're like, we're going to grab a bottle. We're going to go to the house and just keep celebrating. She's like, you can't do that here. And I was like, oh, no. We're going to buy a bottle from like Vaughn's or Safeway. And then we're going to, no, it's Jesus' day. You can't, it's Jesus' day. You can't buy a bottle from the store. There's no alcohol sales today. And I've never seen Saul so pale. Yeah.
I've never been to what I don't know what you want to call
it, but dry county.
Yeah,
dry county.
That was
the first time for me too.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, what are you talking about, Willis? So we were sitting there and we were still trying to sell her on it. We're like, no, we're gonna like
we're getting alcohol.
We have cash. we can go to the. She's like, no, seriously, it's a thing in this county. It's Jesus' day, and there's no alcohol sales. And we're confused because we're drinking alcohol. And she's like, oh no, because we're a restaurant, we're able to sell it.
But after a certain time, remember that we had to like
by 7 p.m.
Yeah,
or something
some
like that.
shit like that.
Anyways, she was just like, you guys are here for a great cause. Here's your bill. $6.95. It was 15 beers plus food.
Yeah.
She charged us $7.
Yeah, we were knee deep in fucking beer.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a few $100 tab. And then,
Hey guys, how many beers did we have tonight? It's a better question.
Like 4 or 5 rounds?
How much did we pay?
$10.
you know, can we get a couple more? So she's like, yeah, you know. So this girl is so cool. She gets another round in glasses and then another round in
to-go cups.
To-go coffee cups. And this is where it gets ratchet. So Saul and I decide that we don't want to go home. What do we want to do? We want to go to a golf course. So
at like 2 a.m. in the fucking middle of nowhere. No, I shouldn't say in the middle of nowhere, but we have no business being outside at this point.
In Indiana, in a dry county. And it's 2 a.m. and my sister's fiance, at the time boyfriend, great guy, by the way. He's a little lit. And there's like these construction signs and he's just living his best life, kicking things.
Yelling.
Yelling. Just living. He was just like living it up. He was just, you know, at EDC. He was just having fun.
I feel like I need to put this into context. The movie Get Out just came out.
At the time, yeah.
At the time. It just came out. So that movie's like fresh in our eyes, in our minds. So, and this whole thing is happening.
And Cage is just, again, just at a rave, just living it up, playing music on his iPhone.
You don't care.
And you see Saul hiding in a bunker.
I would too.
You're not getting my fucking mind.
It's like, us people can't do that. Because, cars are driving by. And so me and Saul, when cars would drive by, Cage would keep walking. Me and Saul were like diving like in a pool. We would just dive into the ditches of Indiana. And long story short, Cage actually didn't do anything wrong. I was the one that ended up selling a golf flag. Yeah, they had the 17th hole.
Which I still don't know how we managed to get into a golf course.
Yeah, we were in a golf course. We were telling ghost stories. We have some selfies. bring those up right now.
Yeah.
Yep, that's us, Indiana. Anyways, lit because of this waitress who gave us to-go beers.
Which we're not blaming you. Like,
not
thank
at
you
all.
for giving us that experience
Not
and
at all.
opportunity.
It was
Thank
awesome.
you. We
It was
love
awesome.
you.
Nothing happened. I did bring the golf flag back the next.
next
I'll never forget. My mom wakes up the next morning. We're sleeping in bed with this like 12-foot flag, and she's like, "What are you guys doing?" And we're just like, "We need to bring that back." So we brought it back. No charges were made.
I still remember you literally just ran out of the car and fucking threw the flag.
Oh, dude, it was just like a bunch of people that I felt like were driving by the night before. I was like, I gotta get rid of this shit. But anyways, that was our first time hanging out. And I really feel like even though the Spread Good Squad didn't start then,
Yeah.
I feel like that's where the culture came from. Is like these guys that want to travel the world, have fun, and spread good. Help kids with cancer, help adults, help people with mental illness, help the people facing homelessness. Like, and that's what really inspired me. I think it was 2.5 years later, I had this idea for the Spread Good Squad. And I was like, I've been running the nonprofit for so long, very fulfilling work, helping kids with cancer and other life-threatening illnesses. I want to help people with other disabilities, other issues, other problems, and I want to do it on our terms.
Yeah.
And that's when I actually had just met Nick, I think a year before, and Nick invested. And then we, you and Walter were the camera guys, and we went all in. Didn't really work out for 3 years, but here we are. No, just kidding.
No.
And a few years go by, and we're figuring it out. But it's awesome.
Man. I feel like the
key in life is not throwing the towel.
I mean, who the fuck has shit figured out in life? We're still figuring it out, but hey, we're still here. We're still spreading good, right? At the end of the day, as long as we keep spreading good and keep fucking love, fuck it, man. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But I love Nick, man. I kind of like Walter. I think Walter mentioned this. If not, then I guess I'll say it. Yeah, when I first met Nick, like, man, he intimidating guy. I mean, I
Fucking
thought I was.
dick, I know, right? Jesus.
Well, I thought I had a resting bitch face, but fuck, man. No, but honestly, I love Nick because I kind of see myself in him in a bit where like, yeah, you see Nick and you think like, oh man, he's kind of like a cold-hearted dude, but you get to know him and man, he's a fucking sweetheart, man. He's a fucking sweetheart, man. Like, amazing man. Yeah.
Bromance.
Fuck yeah.
But Nick, just like episode 2, we'll bring it back. That obviously I've known Saul a long time. You've known him for a few years now. Is there any questions for Saul or anything that you want to say about the interactions we've had over
Yeah,
the last few years?
so when we first started Spread Good, you were helping with camera work, and then you were helping with like big projects like Project Ropa, and then you started doing short content for Instagram. And at first you weren't about it, and then something happened where you were like, I can do this, and you were spotlighting organizations and causes. What happened? What changed?
Honestly, it's just it's a mixture of level of confidence and also fuck it. I always saw myself as a camera guy. Honestly, that's camera guy and maybe writer, but it just got to a point where I said, fuck it, you just gotta just do it. So I started kind of, contacting people, this is actually, first off, this is amazing that you guys are doing this podcast, because if you guys are seeing this, I'm not a fucking robot. I'm not a robot. I'm a person. So for all you got Instagram accounts that I'm DMing, right, slipping into your DMs, saying, "Hey, this is Saul.
Slipping
Hi,
into your DMs.
hi. I'm not a scam. I'm not in fucking China. Like, this is me. Hi.
What's wrong with
Hi.
China?
Nothing wrong with China, but you know what I'm saying? Like I'm a real fucking person. I'm not an AI scammer trying to fucking, scam you. Like, I'm an actual fucking person. Please, respond to me. America. No, but I know that's a lot of, and I feel it too. I contact people on Instagram like, hey, this is Saul from Spread Good Squad. I want to share how you spreading good, and then I feel the tension. I feel a lot of people kind of not trusting, like, which I get, like their information, but
You want
hey,
money.
hi, I'm Saul. I'm a human.
He doesn't need money. Right
I don't
now.
need money. Yeah, I'm not asking
Maybe
for money.
later.
Just tell me your story and how you spread good. I love you guys. I think it was just kind of like you just gotta believe in yourself, man. When you have a mission and you want to just spread good, fuck it, man. Who gives a shit what people think or how it comes out, man? I knew that deep down inside, I had a mission. I want to kind of contact people. I want to show how other people spread good. And I just jumped in it, just counted to 3, 1, 2, 3, jumped into the unknown and just I don't know. I don't know what was the outcome. And honestly, the outcome was amazing. I mean, a lot of people, I'm not going to lie. A good amount of people think I'm a scammer trying to get their information and money. But
From China?
From China. But a good amount of people actually share their stories. And I mean, as we've kind of shown in our web Instagram page, there's a lot of people spreading good in so many different ways. And I'm grateful for that, man.
And you've done videos of yourself spreading good, and there have been negative comments.
Yeah.
And it's hard when you see negative comments, but I feel like you don't care anymore.
No, at first it did hurt.
Yeah.
Because you're pouring your heart out, and I get it. People are saying like, oh, you're just doing it for the gram, you're just doing it for the views. But what people don't realize, and what helped me kind of past that, is that honestly, most of the stuff that the most of the moments where I spread good, I don't record.
It's not recorded.
Yeah, it's not recorded, because I'm in the moment. It's only when I'm in the moment and something inside me clicks and says like, hey, you should probably record this, then I record. But I mean, dude, there's been so many moments where I've had amazing experiences with different people that I don't record, and I help them, or they help other people, and it's amazing, man. And it's just what I had to kind of tell myself is that deep down inside, what am I doing it for? If I'm 100% in my heart doing it to spread awareness or spread truth, spread good, then why the fuck do I give a shit what other people think?
So true. So true. And that's something for me, I've dealt with that, because same thing. Nick and I talk about spread good is a lifestyle.
Yeah.
Even when I go on personal vacations, I'm out here trying to like donate money to somebody, surprise a cancer patient, pull up on a homeless person. Like I love doing it.
Yeah.
And I've gotten to a point too where I've actually felt like my social media triggers too much, where I'm like, oh, let's go do something good. Oh, I should record it. And then I feel bad. I'm like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do it at all, because I don't want. And it hit me. It was late in the game, maybe like a year and a half ago, where I need to record these things, because the reality is it might it might make people think, oh, it's all for the clout. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, that person still got a meal, or that person still got helped. And my hope is not only did that one person get help, it's a domino effect. And this video inspires somebody else to spread good.
100%.
So the backlash is worth it. And it's just part of it. Because even if I was just doing it for the clout, which I'm not, I've really proven that to myself. But if I was, that kid's still going to Disneyland. That person's still getting a hot meal. That person watching the video is still getting inspired. And it's a battle every day. I'm not going to say that I'm fuck it all the time. We've talked about that. We really care about what people think of us. But I'm doing my best to not, because I know I'm a good person. I know I'm spreading good. And like Saul said, fuck it.
Fuck it, man.
Yeah. I feel like the backlash just comes from people who aren't happy. So if you're not happy and you want to criticize us for spreading good, go ahead. It's fine. We're still going to spread good.
Yeah.
So true.
And for me, it's also something like mental, man. Like, I've shared about like kind of like my upbringings and then kind of where I'm from. Like, your upbringings, your childhood affects you as an adult, right? I've had my dark moments, and I feel like there's times where those dark moments kind of reappear, and I'm kind of like stuck in there. And being part of the Spread Good Squad helps me too, because there's times where I catch myself where I'm kind of feeling that gloom, that darkness kind of like weighed over me. And honestly, man, when I force myself to kind of find a way to spread good, it kind of helps me find some light in the darkness. I don't know if that makes sense.
100%.
But it's weird, man. Like I sometimes I force myself, because I don't know if it's something mental. I'm sure it's something mental. I need to see a therapist or something. But yeah, man. There's times where I get stuck in this rut, in this mental state, and spreading good, whether it's simply a simple smile or helping someone, man, that just lifts me up so much. And it sounds selfish, like, I'm helping this person to help myself, but I don't know, man. Like, I don't know
It's a win-win.
what to make out of that, but I just know that it spreading good not just helps other people, but it definitely helps me with my inner struggles, if that makes sense.
100%. I mean, I think that's where my passion for spreading good came from. I'm not going to act like I had this horrible upbringing or whatnot, but I had hard times. And I think what I pulled from those hard times is just wanting to be better. And the why I'm better is spreading good.
Yeah.
For today's Spread Good Deed of the Day, we want to talk about Student Lunchbox, an organization that is fighting food insecurity among college students by building a bridge between food waste and those in need. Did you know that 1 in 3 college students do not know where their next meal will come from? Student Lunchbox is here to help make a change. I just saw on their Instagram page at SLB Community that they have a partnership with LBCC Basic Needs at Long Beach Community College. Being from Long Beach, I know where that school is and actually took a few courses there. Saul actually just highlighted Student Lunchbox on our Spread Good Squad Instagram, so make sure to go check that out. Student Lunchbox does amazing work and we're proud to highlight them today. And that's today's Spread Good Deed of the Day. Speaking of college, you guys should go check out our brand new Unities on spreadgoodsquad.com.
It's been a great episode. I really appreciate both you guys being here. I wanna bring a little crazy fun memory back that I'm sure Saul would love to tell.
Oh, God.
We've been to Orlando together a few times. You've seen the best and the worst of Brody Nicholas. And
What are you thinking about?
oh God, he's probably thinking which one is he
like,
talking
oh,
about? Yeah,
I can only think of one. I don't know if-
I've turned up way too hard in Orlando.
Hey,
So-
man, look, check this out, man. You work hard, you party hard at the end of the day, man. And
100%.
honestly, like, that's what I'm going to... I don't know if this is going to make the podcast, but I know sometimes you worry about people, watching you party hard, enjoying your life. You obviously have a nonprofit, and people sometimes criticize you because you work with kids and they watch you, having fun. But what they don't realize is that it takes a lot, man. You party hard, you work hard and you party hard. You talked about Indiana. I mean, that was the shit, man. That.
Oh, he's about to cry.
Shit, man. I'm a teddy bear,
Yeah,
man.
he's
But
heavy.
that was my first experience with you and your nonprofit. Unfortunately, he didn't make it, and man, I'm not gonna lie, man. When you told me that kind of fucked me up for a few days, man. It fucked me up. It definitely, I had mentioned how sometimes I go into a dark space in my head, and that really definitely took me in that space. But that was just me being kind of like a visitor, right? A guest into your world. To know that you go through that. Sometimes you need an outlet. You need time to, you enjoy yourself, to live life, and not necessarily forget, but just enjoy it, man. Enjoy moments that these kids could not enjoy. Appreciate life. So I don't know what I'm saying. I guess I'm not really saying this to you. I'm saying this more to like people who have some sort of negative things to say towards you or anyone that does, this work. But if you see someone spreading good and they're partying and having fun, man, just think about the experiences. Think about what they're dealing day to day. And, we all need an outlet. We all need an outlet just mentally, really. Mental health is you hear all the time how it's just at a rise, the mental issues and stuff. And for reals, man, I'm sure we all appreciate what you guys are doing, what you've started, and thank you for everything, and having me on board.
No, I appreciate it, man. I really appreciate it. Like I said, you guys see me at my best. You see me at my worst. You've seen me at the highs in front of big ass crowds, and you've seen me when kids are passing away.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate you guys sticking around for the voyage. Again, it's a long game. You know, we talked about that. It's not about the short game; it's the long game, and we're just trying to spread as much good as we can. But we're not perfect, and I think that's what the whole point of this podcast is about. Is we're not trying to be perfect. We're trying to show that we do some dope ass, extraordinary shit. Well, we fucking rage, and we have a good time.
Spreading
and
good is good for your mental health.
it's all about
Drinking
it.
with us is good for your mental health. You just have to do it.
Yeah, and again, I get that, you know, other people have different boundaries, other people have different addictions, other people have different pasts. At the end of the day, you know, we're all fortunate enough that we've gotten to a place where we haven't dealt with anything too serious. But again, it doesn't mean we're perfect, and we're just trying to live the best life that we can. We're at a point in our life where we are not young, we are not old.
I'm kind of old.
Yeah, Nick's not fucking old, but anyway, no, just kidding.
I see no white hair on Nick. I don't know what
for
the
real,
fuck
that's
he's
for
talking
real.
about.
No, at the end of the day, no, this is where I'm at, man. Is at the end of the day, we are not in college. We are not old, but we are older than kids in college. And that's the reality of it. I know a lot of kids in college are listening to this podcast. And I just want to be that kid that showed the other kids that it's possible.
Yeah.
Being yourself. And I just felt like I've spent too much of my life being somebody for my grandparents, or even worse than that, for donors or for business partners or for motherfuckers I ain't never met before. And I think that's what I'm getting to, is I'm not trying to be this crazy, cocky, ego-driven guy, but I'm just going to be myself. And I'm very fucking grateful that I have a circle around me that will hold me down. Y'all let me know I'm too crazy when I'm too crazy.
We have.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Like, are we talking about that time in Orlando, or what are we fucking talking about,
No,
man?
but at the end of the day, you guys let me be me, because you guys know at the end of the day, I hope the good way's out the bad.
Yeah. No, man, and honestly, I think you hit it on the nose right there, man. Just be yourself. And stop hating, man. Fucking stop hating. You know, you mentioned Indiana, man. I just remember, I think it was the second time we were in Indiana, and there was this incident where we were supposed to have this kid, this child, basically be part of this concert. Remember that?
The second concert in
The
Indiana.
second concert, and she did not do it because she was being bullied at school, because she was basically raising awareness for cancer her own way. Dude, I swear to God. I mean, I've shared about my past. I've dealt with bullying and racism and shit, man. Man, when I heard that, I was fucking livid, man.
Oh, it was tough. It was heavy stuff, man. And you know, at the end of the day, we thought we were gonna be able to get her past it.
Yeah.
You know, just trying to like encourage her, inspire her, and motivate her to get on stage with us, and it actually didn't happen. You know, and it was kind of crazy that like the venue everything was set up, and she ended up not getting on stage because she was scared that people would bully her for standing up for kids with cancer.
How crazy is that,
It's
man?
pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. And, you know, at the end of the day, that's like, again, we're all trying to live that life. And, you know, it's hard because I feel like she was just trying to do her best at age 13.
She was spreading awareness
14, yeah.
for cancer, and people were fucking hating on her for that.
Yeah, man,
Too
it was
many
heavy.
haters out there.
Too many haters. But at the end of the day, that's what we're trying to do, guys,
can't
is,
stop.
yeah,
can't
we
stop.
just, you know, stop the hate, spread the good. And, you know, we almost done with this drink. So we should
Well,
just,
I'm like on my 20th drink, man. What the? These fucking soft guys, man.
Pico
What are you doing?
Riveras.
Come on,
Look at
man.
these.
I don't fucking know how to do this shit.
Jeez.
Come on, man. Catch up, guys. Catch up.
We're gonna have Sal on more podcasts, I think, because this is great. This is great. But anyways, guys, we really appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you, Saul, again for hanging out with us. Nick, as always, thank you, my guy, for being here. It's been real. Make sure you
Get over.
like, smash the butt.
Smash the bell.
Not
Hit
too,
the bell.
not too aggressive though. Walter is
No,
very
smash
aggressive.
the bell.
Yeah,
Smash the bell.
smash.
Slap that shit, bro.
Slap the bag or slap the bass.
If you want to slap it,
Hey, anyways.
smash it.
Like, follow. We really appreciate you guys. Again, we know this is episode 5. It's a slow grind, but it's a steady grind because of all of you guys. We appreciate it. Thank you for the love. Keep spreading good. And until next time, take shots
Talk shit.
and spread good.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, this episode's not gonna make it.